Welcome back, Queen, to another episode of the Creatress of Freedom podcast. I am Annie and I am your host, and I'm so happy that you are here with me today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today's episode is a powerful, very powerful episode. And if this is the only episode that you ever listen to, then this is going to change your world. So, I want to share with you a conversation that I was having with one of my current clients that I'm working with privately. And, this is not to say that anybody is bad or wrong or anything like that at all. I just want to pre-emphasize this. It's important that we as business owners are making the right decision based on the right information, right? That is being given. Anyway, I feel like I'm talking enough in code. Let's get stuck into it, okay? So, I recently had a conversation with a client. She randomly came in to our private channel that we have, and she was like, "Okay, Annie, I've been going through all my expenses, and yeah, I've decided that I need to cut some costs." And I was like, "Okay, radio." And she's like, "So, I am going to get rid of." I'm going to change names here just to protect privacy. So we're just going to say that this staff member's name is Susie, right? So I'm going to get rid of Susie. And I was like, whoa, 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 girlfriend. Like, hold up. What the? Like, why? Where did this come from? What's going on? Talk to me, right? Because I'm like, this does not make sense to me. If you're a private client of mine, I go through your stats from a monthly point of view, but then I also go through your weekly clients as well. Sorry, your weekly staff, and I break down everything that I'm seeing. And so when she told me that she was going to get rid of Susie, I was like, this does not make sense to me. Like, why would you get rid of Susie? Anyway, so I was like, tell me what's going on. Like, where has this come from? And she was like, well, like I was like looking at all of the stats, and I was looking at she didn't say all of the stats. She said, I was looking at all the expenses, and her wage has just recently gone up, and she doesn't have enough clients, and so she's the one that's costing me money. And so I think that she needs to go. And I was like, no, 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 no. And this is why it's so important that you are getting advice from the right people, right? So let me keep going with the story. I was like, okay, well, that does not actually make sense to me, because I go through your stats, and when Susie is booked with clients, she's actually your highest earner in the salon. So she's probably your biggest valuable asset that you could have in your team. And so I said to her, from a rebooking rate, from a retail rate, from a service spend, from a total client service spend, she is your highest, and she's not even qualified yet. So that to me makes no sense when you're a person that is making the top earnings in your salon. When she has clients, you're going to get rid of her, when I know that there's other staff that you've got in your business that are not even close to the stats that she's bringing in. Yes, they might have a full column, but they're not meeting KPIs. They aren't really following any of the frameworks that we have implemented. And like, this just does not seem like the right fit as far as I'm concerned. If you are wanting to cut costs, like, this is the last person that you should be getting rid of. You should be getting rid of the people that you have been performance reviewing for the last couple of months, and there's been no improvements, right? You haven't been performance reviewing Susie, you've been performance reviewing these other staff. So why are you getting rid of Susie and not the other staff members? Anyway, as it turns out, we deepened in on this conversation. She was like, well, actually, I was going through the appointment book, and my husband happened to look over my shoulder, and he's seen that I was looking at expenses, and I was looking at, cutting costs, and, he's seen that I was like looking at the week ahead, and Susie didn't have a lot of clients in for this week. And so he actually said to me, You need to get rid of her. Like, there's no point in having her if she has no clients, right? And I said to her, right, okay, now this makes sense because he doesn't understand the conversations that we've been having around the numbers, around the stats, and that she actually is the top earner of the salon when she has clients. And so I get, like, from someone that doesn't understand the business and the numbers and all of that, like, looking at an appointment book, I understand why logically you would be like, well, this person needs to go because they don't have clients in, right? I get that and I understand that. And look, we love husbands, they mean well, but ultimately, unless they are in the absolute back end of your business and they know everything that's going on, they are not qualified to give you this kind of advice, right? So just like, and I want to share this with you because it's very easy for us to trust, our husbands, especially as women. We don't tend to trust ourselves when it comes to our business decisions. So we tend to like lean on our husbands because we think that maybe he will know more and he'll give us more permission to do the things that we maybe can't step into ourselves. And like, yeah, we love husbands, but also unless they are fully understanding the back end of your business, we don't take advice from husbands because in reality, if I didn't have this conversation with her, she could have got rid of her most valuable asset that she has in the salon and kept on staff that are actually costing her money that she continues to keep performance reviewing. So it's so important to really know the numbers and know your staff. And just because they have a full column does not mean that they're making a profit, right? And this is where our logical mind wants to go. And this is where stepping into that CEO vibe is a total different energy. It's a total different strategy. It's a total different mindset. It's a total different brain capacity that you're looking at. Because yes, you can look at the column and go, well, the obvious choice here is to get rid of the person that doesn't have the clients. But actually, this person that has a full column is not making you any profit at all. If anything, this person would be the person to not be working for you because the clients that they do have, you're still not making any profit. Can you hear how passionate I get? I'm like, I just really like caught myself in how passionate I was getting. So if you're listening to this, my apologies on how passionate I'm getting about this. But it's really important that you understand this, right, as a business owner. Because if you do take this advice from someone that doesn't understand it, that could be the worst decision that you could ever make for your business. And so what I encouraged this client of mine to do was, all right, so we've looked at Susie, right? Susie is upcoming into being a senior, doesn't have a lot of clients. So what are you doing to fill her column? Because the reality is that when she has clients, she guns it. She is an absolute asset to the business. She hits KPIs. She is the highest service client spend, like I shared. Like she ticks all of the boxes from hitting KPIs, right? She might not be hitting the total KPI because she doesn't have a full column. But when we break it down and we look at it per service, she does hit all of the KPIs. She just doesn't have a full enough column to hit her monthly KPI. And so this is up to you as a business owner to fill her column, right? This is where you have to do some work. And this is what I was explaining to my client. I understand why you wanted to get rid of her because that means you have to do some work, right? And you, knowing where she's at in her life right now, she probably feels like she doesn't have the capacity to be able to fill her columns. So it's like just easier to keep the other people on that have full columns, right? If you want to change something within your business, you as a leader are going to probably have to do something. You're going to have to put some kind of action, some kind of strategy. You're going to have to implement something in order to change what's going on in your salon. And so I said to her, inside FSM, which she has access to, there is so many different strategies that you could be implementing to help fill her column. So what have you done to do that? And she was like, well, like I just, yeah, like I guess like it just hasn't really been a priority. And, like one week I sit down to, plan out that and get her column full, but like then something else takes priority. And I was like, no, like this is why her columns are not getting filled because you're not making it a priority. You're making it seem like everything else is a priority. But I guarantee that if you fill her column with all of the strategies that I've got inside FSM, the Freedom Seller Manual, I guarantee that you will have her column full in no time. But you are going to have to do some work in order for that to happen. And she is going to be the most valuable asset. She's going to hit KPIs. She is showing so much growth in the clients that she's already got. And she was like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. Like, okay, that's, I'm glad we had this conversation, you know, all right. Yeah, I guess I'll work on that, and I'll get focused on getting her column full. And so that is now where we're at, where we're like focusing on getting this particular staff member's column full. So I share this with you today for two reasons. The first one is be so fucking careful of who you take advice from. If that person has not achieved the goals in their own business that you're wanting to achieve, do not take that advice. If they are, even if they are a completely different industry, do not take that advice, because your industry, the hair and beauty industry, is so unique. It's so different to other business models out there that the only person that you should be taking advice from is someone that has walked the path that you are walking on and has actually achieved it. So whether that's husbands, whether that's mother-in-laws, whether that's Joe Blow down the road that's got a flyer up, you know, on the power pole, like whatever it is, even if it's someone that you're downloading free PDFs on, if it's not someone that's specific to our industry, stay away from it. If they are someone that has not even achieved this, stay away from it, because it is going to be detrimental to your business. That example is a perfect example that she could have got rid of. Like, that could have been so detrimental to her entire business model, because she could have got rid of somebody that actually is making her really good money. She now just needs to focus on the important part, which is actually filling her column. If she focused on filling her column and got rid of the other staff that are not meeting KPIs, regardless of what she is been putting in place, there's still no improvement. She would start to make more profit. But it's so important to, yes, number one, be so mindful who you're taking business advice from. Number two, if your staff are not performing, that's on you, right? That's on you. You are the leader. You are the CEO of this business. It is not your staff's responsibility to figure out how they're going to bring in more money into your business. It is your responsibility, and you have to take responsibility and take ownership of your business and start doing things different. You have to start stepping into this next level of leadership, this next level of CEO. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you stop working on clients. You have to shift out of this mentality that I make the money when I'm on the floor. You do not make the money when you're on the floor as a CEO. You, as a CEO of the business, you have to step off the floor and start focusing on the numbers, start focusing on the strategy, start focusing on the marketing, start focusing on the future predictions, you know, like start future planning for the business, start forecasting. That's where you're going to make the money. A perfect example is Russell Branson, right? Like, Russell Branson is not, I know I don't think he has Virgin anymore, like Virgin Planes. Does he? No, I don't think he has Virgin Planes anymore. But anyway, this is an example, right? You don't see Russell Branson checking in clients, right? You don't see him doing any of the customer relations stuff. He is doing the forecasting. He is doing the CEO stuff. He's not in the forefront of all of the business stuff. And this is how he gets so successful, because he is so tapped into being the CEO of the business and understanding all of the functions and pivoting and tweaking things and doing the marketing and hiring and firing, you know, like, and it's such a numbers game. And this is where you also need to start stepping into that next level as well within your business too. So I'm going to wrap it up there. That feels complete. We feel done. So if this is like a juicy 15 minutes worth of like absolute gold nuggets right here. So if you have had a takeaway or, anything like that, I'd love to hear from you. You know that it brings so much joy when I hear from you guys. So please come and let me know. If maybe you've had a similar experience and you're like, oh my God, yes, like my husband did the same thing. And I was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about, right? So if this has been your reality, I would love to hear from you for sure. If you would be interested in coming into my spaces and delving more into the frameworks that I was talking about with this particular client on how to fill her column, fill this staff member's columns, all of those frameworks will be found inside my 12-month space, which is the Freedom Salon Manual. It's a 12-month mentorship. You get access to all of the programs, all of the frameworks, the tools, the strategies, you name it. There's like over 100 different types of things in there, from leadership, from sales, from profit margins, from skills, literally like marketing, you name it, it is all in there. It's like just the most juiciest space to be in. When my clients come in, they re-sign every 12 months because they're like, I keep adding more and more stuff. And they're like, oh my God, I can't be without this. This is so juicy. So there's that space. And then there's also, you get you get coaching calls as well with me too. So if there's anything that you are struggling to implement or anything like that, then we bring that to the calls and we unpack what's going on and how I can support you. So if you're interested in coming into that space, here is an invitation. I would love to see you inside. You'll see in the show notes, you literally can just like sign straight up to it. Or if you are like, oh, I just don't know if this is really like suitable for me, then you'll see my calendar link in the show notes. So go ahead, book a call and let's do a strategy call and see like where you're at, what your problems are, and how we can, how I can support you. Like, what is it that you actually need? Because FSM might not actually be suitable for you. Integrity is one of my core values. And so if I truly believe that it's not the space for you, I will let you know that. But if I feel like it, I can definitely help you and support you with where you're at and where your goals are, then yeah, jumping on and doing a strategy call with me. It's 60 minutes. We delve deep, we go deep and wide really fast, and then we figure out exactly what's going on. I can pick those blind spots really, really easily. I've been in the industry for a very long time. I've walked this path with you. So I probably have experienced the exact same things that you also have experienced at some stage, and we can get you scaling the business to where you want it to be without having to hustle harder, without having to put money into ads, without having to hire more staff, right? Like it's really just about you stepping in and understanding how to operate the business from a CEO level, and you watch the business flourish and absolutely skyrocket from there on. So if you have any questions, let me know. Head to the show notes. You'll find all of the information of how you can come into my world. Come and shoot me a DM on Instagram if you've got any questions. My DMs are always open. And I will talk to you real soon. All right. Bye for now.